This idea has been brewing in my mind for quite some time now. And finally, I have gathered the courage to present the ultimate 3 rigs, 1 night challenge. Yes, it's silly. It makes no sense at all. And it's a complete waste of time. But stick with me until the end to find out how exactly I lose my valuable time so you don't have to lose yours. My name is Christian and welcome to Astronite. The rules are simple. 3 different rig technologies graded from worse precision, shorter focal length, to better, longer focal length. This means that the AZ mount will handle only 135, the Star Tracker will handle 300, and the Mighty EQ6 will manage the full power of the C8, around 2000 millimeters. Next rule is that all 3 rigs will shoot at the same target. It's a silly rule. It is, believe me. I know. What can shoot at 135 that will also be recognized at 2000 millimeters? And added to that, since I've only got 1 dedicated astro camera, that means no hydrogen rich regions. The only object that covers those criteria are galaxies or reflection nebulae. The best object at the time of recording is the Andromeda Galaxy. It's sitting high in the sky and it's visible at all 3 focal lengths. Well, I believe that the Mighty C8 will have some struggle resolving some better detail. Here's a quick breakdown of what setting up 3 rigs looks like. Although it looks easy, I made some terrible mistakes. Being able to see the whole process, I should have done each rig at a time, starting from the most complex to the simplest. That way you don't skip any step along the way. Like setting the heavy telescope before the counterweights. That could have ended tragically. Contestant A. Celestron SE mount and tripod, Canon 6D unmodified, and the Samyang 135 f2. Contestant B. A carbon tripod, the trusty Skywatcher Star Adventurer 2i Wi-Fi, Canon 77D unmodified, it's got its own intervalometer. Wow. And Canon EF 75-300. Contestant C. The almighty Skywatcher EQ6R Pro mount, the Celestron C8, or rather the SE8, no reducer, no filter, and the ZWO294 MC Pro. Let me start by saying that I was running low on energy that night. and I had almost nothing to eat. Brains won't work when they're running low on sugar. And setting up not one but 3 rigs and figuring out how to connect all 3 rigs to a same energy source was a complete task that you cannot manage with only half a brain. I had a whole week to set the challenge. The only problem is that weather was not on our side. After checking the weather app, the only clear window was right after a long day at work. Pack everything up and drive for 2 hours. Image A. Complete disaster. It went wrong. Celestron SE mount is simple. It just requires date, time, daylight savings time. This is where I went wrong. And the third thing, it needs 1 or 2 star alignment. That's not hard, and it will track without any problem. But I didn't. So first images seemed fine. There was 5-second subs. Let it do its job. When I saw 2 hours later the images that the galaxy was way off frame, it was just too much for me. And having to manage the other 2 rigs, it was a good idea to start taking the rig down. Image B. The problem on this one was that instead of 300, I left for easier finding the lens at 75 millimeters. Well, on APS-C sensor, it's sort of 120. So even though it isn't a terrible image, the result is slightly smaller than image A. When I realized I was shooting at 75, I wanted to extend the lens to 300, but it was very hard to focus, and so I gave up. With clouds rolling in and image A and B not being good, I had to rely on image C. Image C, with guiding problems and no field flattener, images were not good, but I knew that. And I wanted to get an image from far away to really close. And I don't think it's gonna be possible. This is a lesson well learned. If you're tired, don't adventure yourself into an ambitious project that stinks of failure. Just stick to simple plans. There will be battles to be won, but there are others that are not worth fighting for. Wisdom shows us when it's time to turn around. It would have been better to get some beautiful emission nebula to feed my ambition. But as a legend said once, my ambition outweighs my talent. We do tend to go over our limits and end up doing stupid things. Let's think of it as a perfect way of learning what mistakes I will not make on the next Ultimate 3 Rigs 1 Night Challenge. Thanks for having the courage of holding up till the end. Let me know which image you think stinks the most, and see you on the next challenge. Good night.